I just put a video on YouTube about colonies running out of honey, and this was the colony that I put a honey super with a good amount of honey, almost full, on top of the original super that was on there that was almost empty. There was a little bit left. It wasn't as bad as I thought it was. And the bees did calm down for a while, and then they got all riled up again. So I let them out, and I decided to go ahead and do a hive inspection. Now this colony here, a month ago, they were in the bottom deep. And I took that bottom deep and I put it on top, trying to get them down into the super on top. At that time, there were no bees in the super. But what has happened is I did get them down in the super. What happened was the queen started laying again. And I could not find any pollen. I did not give them any pollen patty. There's no pollen in there. And the queen is laying. There's capped brood, so I don't know how they're doing it. It must be a little bit in there. But anyway, I located the queen off the frame that had the brood, and I put her in the hole, in her cover hole. And I realized I should have done it after I put that frame of brood in. And I wanted the bees down in the bottom deep. They weren't down in the bottom deep. So what I did is I took the super off and set it on top of the cover. So I knew the queen was safe in that. I didn't want to move frames around because I just put her in. So I put that medium frame of brood in the center of the deep. And now I'm brushing off the remaining bees into this hive. After I shake the frame, I brush them off. And these are the bees that I cleaned out of the bottom of this hive. So what has me troubled is, did I get rid of all the varroa mites in the fall? I did a varroa mite treatment November 22nd when all the colonies were outside before I brought them in, hoping that the queen was done laying and there was no more capped brood in there, and I got rid of all the varroa mites, I'm hoping. I haven't cleaned these out over a month, so is that from the varrosis from October, November, and they're okay now? I don't know. But I did get a little bit extreme on bringing my colonies inside here when I guess a lot of them don't really need to be brought in. But after having experience with foliage Russian bees, not being resistant to varroa mites, and almost losing all of them, and having them get really small. You have to check my videos from a couple years ago. The colonies got real small. They shrunk down to nothing. And I ended up bringing them inside. And then last winter, I used formic proformic acid, and it didn't kill the varroa mites like I thought it did. And I had to switch to acetic acid in November, but the damage had already been done. They shrunk quite a bit last winter. I'm not used to having large colonies during the winter, and I've taken it to extreme here. I've brought in too many colonies that probably need to be put back outside. We haven't gotten real cold temperatures. It hasn't been below zero yet. I think the coldest temperature I've gotten here this winter is like 14 degrees. So this colony is large enough to they need to be outside. I'm going to reevaluate these and start putting them outside. I got carried away with that, okay? So that's the problem. The queen is laying and the colony's still growing. Here it is mid-January. I don't really want them to outgrow this hive. I don't know where they're getting the pollen at. I couldn't find any pollen in there. I did not give them pollen patty. It's not that warm in here. It's about 50 degrees. I try to keep it cool in here by leaving this door open and the screen open, so I don't want it too warm in here. But apparently, I've never had this issue before during the winter with bees, just queens continuing to lay all winter long. So that's what's happening, and I got to resolve that issue. And that's all I can say. Okay, thank you.